Welcome, Njideka. Welcome, Ujo. Welcome, welcome. Every dark cloud has a silver lining. Welcome, welcome to another episode of Friday Night Hangout. And I remain Joy Onyesoh, your host. I'm so excited to have you join in tonight on this 17th episode of Friday Night Hangout. You know how we roll here as you're joining in. I want to see your thank God it's Friday. Welcome Njideka, welcome Shan George, welcome Ella, welcome Ifacho, welcome Ozioma. It's a pleasure to be here with you again. Welcome, welcome. Yes. Good evening, Ozioma. Yes, 3, 2, 1, boom. Ella, we're right here and live. Thank you so much, Njideka. Adeze saying, thank God it's Friday. She's right here with me. Welcome, Shanjosh. Thank you, Njideka. You love my shirt. Thank you so much. This is the Women's Situation Room Nigeria shirt. So this is a very unique episode. I have to give apologies for Madam Barbara Sangare. Unfortunately, Barbara won't be joining us tonight because she's not disposed. Let's say a quick prayer for her, for healing, for quick recovery. She's doing much better now, but she's having a rain check. So unfortunately, she won't be here, but we're going to have her on another episode. So welcome, 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 welcome. We're going to try and make it as fun as usual, our giveaways, our reflective conversations, and we're going to have a very interactive episode today. Welcome, Olivia. Welcome, Udo. Welcome, Ezine. Welcome. I'm so excited that you're here. And if you see the t-shirt, I hope you can see the logo on the t-shirt. It's Women's Situation Room Nigeria. So I'm calling in live from the Women's Situation Room in Edo State, Benin City, Edo State. Yes. I don't know how many of you know that tomorrow is elections, the gubernatorial elections in Edo State. And so I'm here with my team to observe the election from a gender perspective. And that's why you have me spotting on this t-shirt. So I'm still on duty, but I also need to have this Friday night hangout with you all. So it's nice to be here, nice to see you. Thank you, Njideka, for your prayer. Njideka says she's healed in Jesus' name. Amen. Oh, my big sis Adenike says, hello house, I'm happy to be here. We're so happy to have you here as well. Ozioma says, speedy recovery, ma'am. Amen. Roma says, thank God it's Friday. I'm excited too. And Ezine says she's healed in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Olivia says, good to see you too. Good to see you. Oh, Udra, you from Edo State? Oh my goodness. I'm still waiting for the Edo State hospitality. Oh, Jane has refused to give us Edo hospitality. She's JJC like me in Edo State. So I'm reporting live from Benin City, Edo State, the Women's Situation Room, Nigeria. We're having an election, a gendered election observation of the Edo State gubernatorial elections, which will be happening tomorrow. So my team and I are live in Benin City. Yes, yes, yes. Good evening, Amaka, and welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're just tuning in, I want to see your thank God it's Friday. Welcome, Amaka. Welcome, Precious. Welcome, welcome. So we're going to have a different style today. This is a freestyle today. Udo says, oh my goodness, I'm in Benin City, Edo State. Yes. So send all I want to see the red carpet. Oh my goodness. Njideka says, I can't wait for the hangout on Sunday. Same here. So I just want to thank each and every one of you for always, turning up every Friday. It's our date. This is our tribe. And this is our time. How has your week been? I want to know how your week has been. So tell me how your week has. Mine has been very hectic, but interesting. Remember my formations on Sunday. I started getting my harvest right on Monday morning. So I want to know how your week How your week, how your week has been. Iluna says, thank God it's Friday. Children, thank God it's Friday. Udo says, hope you're enjoying my state. I don't know yet. I haven't seen the red carpet in Edo State. Like I said, Jane has refused to give us red carpets. We're the one giving her red carpets. So we're waiting. So Udo, let it rain. Let the VIP treatment rain. We're still here. Thank God it's Friday. Welcome, Chinelo. Welcome, Perpetual. Yes, yes. We are live in Benin City, Edo State. And Deka says, my week has been hectic but productive. Oh, beautiful. That is what I want to hear. Hectic but it's productive. Chinelo says, my week has been awesome. Great. I love to hear that. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So this month of September, we're discussing relationship. And so we discussed business relationship last week. We had amazing Irene Owa as our guest, and it was explosive. So this week, we're going to talk about relationship, but you are also going to tell me what about relationship you want us to talk about. So I'm going to take questions from you, and then I will answer. So this segment is going to be a question and answer segment on relationship. Theodora says this week has been slow, but we thank God. Amen. I pray for a quick week. The week has wrapped up, work week wrapped up today, but there's still tomorrow. I always believe in the 11th hour miracle, taking inspired actions, and there's always tomorrow. If this week hasn't been what you expect to get, you just keep pushing through, and next week will definitely be better. Ezine says, my week has been good. Thank God for that. Udo says, my week has been so stressful, but all the glory to God. Amen. Ella says, hectic week, but lots of smiles on my face. I love that. Thank God. Oh, welcome, Shola. He says, thank God it's Friday. Yes, yes, yes. And Judeka says, ma'am, let's wish one of us who has been speedy recovery. Her name is Mary Jimmy Oji. Oh, thank you so much, Njideka, for bringing this to our notice. So please let us say a short prayer for Mary Jimmy Oji, a speedy recovery for her. Njideka is telling us that she's sick and she's usually on this program. So Mary Jimmy Oji, I'm sending healing thoughts, healing prayers to you. Get well quick, and we look forward to seeing you next week, Friday. From us in Friday Night Hangout, we say we love you, we love you, we love you, and I look forward to seeing you next week, Friday, Mary Oji. So we're sending you lots of love, lots of warm wishes from Friday Night Hangout. Thank God it's Friday. See all the beautiful wishes coming your way, Mary Oji. Beautiful wishes coming your way. Speedy recovery, Mary. Speedy recovery, Mary. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Ella. Thank you so much, Shola, for the warm prayers. Speedy recovery in Jesus' name. Amen. I have some guests who just came into the room. You're not going to see their face. So welcome to Women's Situation Room. Okay, so now we're going to talk about relationship. Now, I want to take questions from you, and I'm going to answer the questions. But while I'm waiting for your questions to drop in, I want to appreciate everyone here, and we're going to take our first giveaway. We're going to get the first 5 persons 500 naira free data subscription. So put in your number and put in thank God it's Friday. So I'm waiting to see your number and thank God it's Friday. Put in your number and thank God it's Friday. The first 5 persons get a free 500 naira data subscription. My TV. Oh my goodness. There are people in the situation room that wants to win. All right. Congratulations to our first winner, Chilelo Enukara. Congratulations. You've won yourself 500 naira free data subscription. And Jideka, congratulations. You've won yourself free 500 naira data subscription. Congratulations, Ifacho. And congratulations, Ezine. Congratulations, Ella. So we have the 5 persons complete. Chinelo, Ifachon, Jideka, Ezine, Ella. Congratulations. Yay. These are first 5 winners for this evening. Good, good, good. I have another question for you before we dive deep into our conversation for today. And so the first question is this. Now, the first person to get the response correct gets 1,000 naira cash. And so let's do the fast fingers. When I launched a course early part of this month. I'm giving you expo so you can start guessing. Eh? So I launched an online course the early part of this month, and the course is titled 30 Days Abundance Challenge. What day in September was it launched? What was the date? Yay! I want you to get the date correctly. DJ, while we're at it, let me have a little background music, please. Yes. All right. Woo! Let's see. I want the dates. The dates. What date in September? All right. Eh? Yay. What date in September? The dates. What date of the month of September? Some people are doing expo now. People are scrolling different places to find the dates. Oh my goodness. You see why you have to keep up with me. It's not 1st of September. No, it's not 1st of September. Hey, let's see. Congratulations, Theodora Oliobi. 7th of September is the correct response. You're a winner of 1,000 naira cash prize. Can I have your phone number, please? A member of my team will be in touch with you. Congratulations, Theodora. Congratulations. Congratulations. Yay. We have a winner already. Now we're going to discuss relationships. So I want you to ask me any question. Today is question and answer. Unfortunately, our guest, Barbara Sangari, can't be with us today because she's indisposed, but we're going to feature her next time. So please, you have questions on relationship, just shoot. I'm here. And any other question related to relationship, perhaps some of the things we discussed last week, Friday, you have questions, just put the questions in the chat box, and I see the questions, I will respond to the questions. So we're discussing relationship. So if you have questions on business relationship, if you have questions on any other form of relationship, you can put it on the chat box. I will read it out and I would respond to the question. So who is the first person with a question? Remember, it's question and answer. So let's have the question. Coming in. Let's have it. Who has the first question for me? I'm waiting. Today is an interactive session, so it's going to be question and answer, and then I'll respond. So if you have any question, you will put the question in the chat box. I have a special guest who doesn't know she's my special guest. So I'm going to be calling someone much later in the program, and you watch her surprise. Oh my goodness. Some people are enjoying themselves here. Okay. I'm still waiting. Good evening, Vivian. Good evening, Theodora. Welcome to Friday Night Hangout. Good evening. If you have a question on what we discussed last week, or you have a question on relationship, I want to see it here. Beautiful. I have the first question from Ezine. And the question is, I want you all to listen, because when I respond the question, I also want you to give me your perspective. So Ezine says here, how can you keep up with a long distance relationship? This is a beautiful question. How can you keep up with a long distance relationship? Now, I must say this, long distance relationship can be very challenging. Now, it depends at the phase both of you were in before there became that distance. Maybe he traveled or you changed locations. Now it depends. Are you, if you're in courtship or if you're in marriage, they're two different things. Now, let me start from the marriage angle. Now, if you are married and then you find yourself in a position where your relationship, perhaps you had to relocate or your husband had to travel out, or either spouse had to move, I tell you, it can be very challenging. But now what you can do is you need to build up your communication. So if perhaps you were, okay, Theodora says, in my office, one of my colleagues is having an affair with my boss. And because of that, she wants to use it to intimidate us. So what is your take on this? Beautiful. That's the second question. So let me conclude Ezine's question. I'm going to answer Theodora's question. Now, if you have been communicating like once in a day, my dear, my sister, you now need to up the communication. You need to be very close in terms of communicating, in terms of talking. So you need to find out what works for both of you. Chatting, calling. Calls might be very expensive because maybe if it's not in Nigeria, social media, we have WhatsApp, we have Messenger, we have all kinds of social media that makes chatting and makes calling much cheaper. So I would advise that you find out the right time for both of you to chat. So just make it a regular thing. Talk to him or talk to her as you would if the person were close. So, but this time around, you need to put more effort into communicating. You need to be expressive. Then this is not the time to get angry, and then because you're angry, you say, okay, I won't talk to him or her for 1 week or 2 weeks. Because there is that distance, what will happen is you put a bridge in between both of you. So this is the time when you have issues. Yeah, you can take 1 or 2 days to cool off, depending on what the issue is, but you need to trash the issue. So effective communication is very key in long distance relationship. If either party has challenges in communicating, then it's going to be very, very problematic. Now, you also need to be very frank with yourselves in terms of, I want to focus on marriage, in terms of what you, how you go about your sex life. This is not something you sweep under the carpet. No, you don't talk about it, your husband doesn't talk about it, and both of you make assumptions. No, it wouldn't work. It's going to create more challenges. So both of you need to discuss how your sex life is going to look like, and you need to figure out what would work for both of you. And you need to be close, because if you don't make that effort to discuss it, to find ways of bridging the gap, what will happen is that either party might get distracted. You might get distracted. So you need to be focused on the thing that made you attracted to him or her in the first place and has kept you in that marriage or in that relationship for that long. And that is something that would keep you going on. The memories. You need to keep looking at the memories, the beautiful memories, and you need to speak, you need to share. You need to find time to even just have fun. This is not something you leave to how will I put it, to circumstances. No, you need to carve out time. You guys need to carve out time when you would sit down, you talk, you laugh, you talk about your issues, what has happened in the day, how's your week been like, what are the challenges you're going through. There has to be that intentional effort to keep up the relationship, because there is a distance. You can't see yourself as often as you want to. Now, the beautiful thing is that we have lots of video chats. So you need to use video chats as much as possible, because you need to also see yourself, refresh that memories, you have in your mind. This has to be very deliberate. This has to be very intentional. I tell you, very, very intentional. It is not something that you feel like when you feel like. You can't leave it like when you feel like. This is something that every day you need to keep in touch. And if possible, my dear, send sweet text messages to him or to her. How are you doing? I'm just checking in on you to know what is happening with you. It's just enough to say, how's your day going? Oh, this is what I'm doing now. Oh, this, just make it very conversational. Make it very conversational so that that gap doesn't keep widening. That gap doesn't keep widening, because sometimes it's inevitable that there has to be distance in relationships, but you need to talk about it. And you need to talk about what works for you and what works for him. So I also like to hear from others. If you're in a long distance relationship, what has worked for you? Let us share your experience, what has worked for you, and so we can also learn from it. What has worked for you in a long distance relationship? Please share, and so we'd like to know. So, Azin, I hope that answers your question. If not, please ask a follow-up question. This is what we're here to do today. Theodora says, in my office, one of my colleagues is having an affair with my boss. And because of that, she wants to use it to intimidate us. So what is your take on this? My dear, this is a very good one. It has got to do with her personality. Personal relationship is different from official relationship. But we do know that some people don't know how to manage that. That's her private life, is her personal life. And she shouldn't bring it to bear in her relationship with you all in the office, her colleagues. What I would advise is try and play your part. Do what you're supposed to do. Sometimes we could also be making assumptions that because she's having a relationship with the boss, she's trying to intimidate you. So if you feel so strongly about it, have a very nice, frank conversation with her. It helps, so that it's not like a gossip kind of thing. If there are very specific things she has done to you as an individual, please raise it with her very nicely. You know, I talk about carefrontation and not confrontation. There is how you talk to people, and you know they just get aggressive and get defensive from the beginning. So your approach matters a lot. Now, if you come in a judgmental kind of way, she already gets she already gets on the defensive. So you tell her it's affecting you as an individual. Don't do it us. If there are specific things she has done to you and you feel that it's out of place, just like you would with any other colleague, talk to her about it, and don't bring in the bit of having a relationship with the boss. Just talk to her directly about those things she does that you don't like and you feel that she's trying to use it to intimidate you. And then if she wouldn't listen to reason, or she doesn't want to come around, then focus on your job. Just do what you're supposed to do as well as you're supposed to do it, and then just move on. Some of these things resolve themselves with time. Okay, I hope that answers your question. And if anyone here has further suggestions or advice, please share. We're all here to learn and relearn. That's what we do here. Njideka says, is it advisable for husband and wife to work in the same establishment? This is a good one. In so many establishments, they wouldn't allow spouse, to work in the same establishment for various reasons. There may be conflict of interest, and there's a whole lot. It becomes difficult. Some couples don't know how to manage it very well, so they carry their personal affairs into the official space. And so this official space becomes a carryover of what happens in the house. So for instance, they have a quarrel in the house. They bring it to the office space. Maybe the wife is supposed to report to the husband or give certain things to the husband. Because they are quarreling, she wouldn't do it. The office becomes an extended space. So many employers don't want to deal with that. Many employers don't want to deal with that. And also for ethical reasons, sometimes many employers would not want families, close related family members to work in the same space. So for me, I don't really like the idea. That's my own opinion. I don't like the idea of husband and wife working in the same establishment, except is a business both of them opened together. Is a business they jointly started off together. That is fine. So from the beginning, there is that understanding that we are going into business together. You man this area, I will man this area. So that understanding is there. But if it's in an external establishment, you met yourself in the office and you decided to get married, and both of you keep working there, is a little bit dicey. Most employers would not want that for various reasons. Like I mentioned before, sometimes it's very difficult to manage the relationship, so it affects the workspace. You might find the husband covering for the wife covering for the husband. It becomes an extension of their home. And in our climate, Nigeria, sadly to say, it's not as if we don't have people who are together, who are organized or structured, but most times, you find employees who are not that organized or structured. They see the office space as an extension of their personal life, and it becomes difficult. So for that reason, many employers would not want that. So if you've had a different experience, please share. I would like to know if you have a different experience and it has worked for you, or it didn't work for you, why it didn't work or why it worked. Please share, I would like to hear that, and I'm sure we'll all learn from that. Theodora says communication is the key thing in long distance relationship. True. Communication is so important in long distance relationship. If you don't have a good communication system in that relationship, it's going to collapse. I tell you, it's going to collapse. So both parties need to be committed to, conversations, to talking, to sharing, to building very strong and effective communication. Because it's not the same thing like when you have a one-on-one, especially when you have issues. You have one-on-one conversations, you resolve it. But when it's over a distance, you have to put in so much effort to understand where the person is coming from. So you need to have that openness, because you're not there. You don't know what what your partner has gone through for the day. You don't even know his mood as of that time when such a thing, whatever miscommunication happens. So it's always good to be open. I know it's not easy, because sometimes we're humans, and because we're humans, we fall into that trap. So communication is so critical in a long distance relationship. Ozioma says, in a work environment, how do you create a balance in relationship between senior staff and junior staff, so that the senior staff don't become overbearing and the junior staff don't take the senior staff for granted as well? Wow. Now, this is a very interesting question. And I'm going to talk from my own perspective and my own experience in my own organization. Every organization has a culture, and the culture is very important. When new staff comes into the organization, the culture they meet within the organization is what informs how they relate in the organization. So for me, in my organization, while we relate as a family, we also know the boundaries. So I've not had instances where we have disrespectful communications. It happens once in a while, but it is not something that has generated a lot of conflict within the organization, because this is where your staff meetings comes into play. This is where your bonding as an organization or your staff members comes into play. So this is something even you as the head of the establishment or the management of the establishment has a key role to play in this. I say this because most times we learn by how people behave rather than what they say. So if you find that the people at the top are just saying the words but are not really behaving that way, like they're not nice, they're overbearing, they don't try to make everyone feel welcome, it rubs off on other staff members. So this is a very frank conversation that needs to be had in such an organization. So this is what comes up during your weekly meetings, your team meetings, or your monthly meetings. It depends on how frequent you have these meetings. These are not conversations that you talk behind the scenes. These are conversations that you have, very frank conversations that you need to have. Okay, so what would you say has been overbearing? What would you see as, as being taken for granted? You feel that someone is taking you for granted. So these are some of the basic things conversations that needs to be had within a particular context, because the context matters. It is not a one cap fits all. It depends on the context in which your establishment is operating. It also depends on the vision of the organization and the culture of the organization. These are conversations that needs to be had, and these are conversations that needs to be built into the mission of the organization. So all the staff needs to have a commitment to that. To team building, this is part of the exercise that goes into team building. So everyone in the organization needs to see themselves as a team. And so when you see yourself as a team, then you now begin to relate as such. And then frank conversation. So if someone feels taken for granted, please don't react. Call the person and express how you feel to the person. Listen, I need you to stop this. I don't like this. I feel that I'm being taken for granted. And the person may not even see it the way you've seen it. The person can apologize. There's always room for learning. So there's always room for learning. So frank conversations, it goes back again to effective communication. So there has to be effective communication. The culture of the organization needs to be spelled out. There needs to be consistent and intentional team building so that we all understand what our roles and understand what is acceptable within the organization. Now, yes, I hope that answers your question, Ozioma. Adora says, thank God it's Friday. Vivian Okore says, Ma, what are the relationship workouts basic? I don't understand that question. If you don't mind, can you rephrase the question. What are the relationship workout basic? I don't understand the question. So please, if you can rephrase the question, then I would answer the question. Chodora says, thank you for the answer. Njideka says, thanks, ma'am. Njideka says, talking about husband and wife running a particular business, would you advise them to open a joint account for that particular business? First of all, if you're running a business as a husband and wife, it's already assumed that it's a joint account, which means that both parties would need to have access to the account. That is a normal thing. Because if both of you come together and decide you want to run a business together as a husband and wife, automatically both of you should have access to that account because both of you are stakeholders in the business. So it means that it's a conversation. Like I would always say, communication is key. Both of you need to sit down and discuss. Now, sometimes we make a lot of assumptions, especially when it comes to finances. I don't like making assumptions. There are certain conversations that you need to have, even as husband and wife. Don't assume that your husband will know now that because both of you are running the business, you need to have access to the finance. And not assume that your wife will know now because both of you are running the business, you need to have access to the accounts. No. I would encourage you that once you start nursing that idea of running a business, you both need to sit down and discuss all the nitty-gritties of running the business. Setting up the business, who does what, roles and responsibility, setting up talking about the finances of the business, how much both of you get paid. Now, if you're running your own business, please, you need to also get paid. That is what some of us don't do. So that you see most of us putting hands into the capital of the business and drawing in money, and that is where problems start. The wife will say, okay, you're spending more. The husband will say, oh, you're spending more, and the confusion starts. With that, is crisis sets in. So it's a very delicate thing for a husband and wife to work together. So for it to work, there has to be also effective communication. You need to discuss things and be open. You need to be open. You really need to have an open mindset to run a business with your wife or with your husband. So I hope that answers your question, Njideka. Now, on the terms of a personal basis, you can decide to have your own personal account separately from the business account. Mark you, your business account is not your personal account. So you need to have your own personal account. Now it's up to you to decide if you want to have a joint account with your husband on a personal level. You both know the kind of relationship you have. And so it's left for you to decide if it will work for your kind of marriage or not. Or if you want to retain your financial independence and have your personal bank account, that is left for you to discuss. But you know one thing about money, if you don't have frank conversations around money, it creates problem. It creates problem. Finances is not something you sweep under the carpet in marriage or in any relationship. You need to have frank conversations around it. So if you are just joining us, welcome to Friday Night Hangout. If you're just joining in, I am Joy Onyesoh, and I want to see you. Thank God it's Friday. Today we're discussing relationships. We're discussing relationship, and if you have questions on relationship, please put it in the chat box below and we will try and answer your question. And here we're a family. We learn, and then we also reflect while having so much fun. And Ozioma says, wow, thank you so much, Prof. You answered my question. Thank you so much. I'm happy that I answered your question. Good evening, Divine. How are you doing? Yay. Welcome. Welcome, Tiffany. Oh, great. She says, hey, sis, I'm happy I'm able to catch you live. Yes. Thank you for tuning in. And today we're discussing relationships. We'll be taking some questions. So if you have questions, please put it in the chat box and then we'll take your questions. And so while we're waiting for more questions, we're going to do another giveaway. And DJ, give us a soft music for that. And I want the first 10 persons to put in their number. So the first 10 persons to listen to the instructions. First 10 persons, type in your number and relationship. So your number and relationship. Your number and then relationship. So let's go. DJ, give us music while we're waiting for the 10 persons to put in their number and relationship. Yay! Your number and relationships. Woo! Celebrate. All right. You beginning. Shola, we have Ella, we have Solomon. Hey, hey. Tiffany says sport for relationship. Yay. All right, as the numbers keep rolling in, my team is going to pick the first 10 numbers. All right, DJ. Can you reduce the non-play music, DJ? Oh my goodness. You should see what is happening here backstage. You need to see what my people are doing here backstage. Don't worry. I'm going to surprise them. I just pop the video on them. So don't worry. I'm going to give you something to laugh about very soon. Oh my goodness. Okay. I have another question from Ella. Ella says, please, ma, how do I handle a jealous partner? Especially when I'm with customers. He will call to ask questions here and there. Oh my goodness, this is a very beautiful question, Ella. Beautiful in the sense that you are not alone. There are so many women going through this same thing. Women and men alike, because we have jealous women and we have jealous men. Now, one thing I might put out is this. When you're in love with someone, it's sometimes you feel a little bit of jealousy when you see the person giving attention to someone else, to an opposite sex. Now, it becomes problematic, and I use the word problematic. It becomes, okay, someone says, please, I really need to see the backstage. I'll show you, don't worry. I'm going to surprise them, don't worry. They are here, eh? I'm going to surprise them, don't worry. Now, I say problematic when it crosses a healthy boundary. Now, there are things you need to do. First of all, when you were courting him or her, what kind of tendencies did the person exhibit? Because there are certain things that people exhibit and it is part of them, you cannot change them. You need to find a way of working around it. First of all, when one exhibits so much jealousy, it means the person is insecure in that relationship. So the first thing I'll ask you is, I want you to do a personal assessment. Have you given the person any reason to distrust you or any reason to doubt you consistently? So has there been a history of you being unfaithful? Has there been a history of you giving the person reason to question your loyalty? Sometimes it could be that, and the person is still recovering and bordering around that. And so if your answer is no, there has been no history of that, it just has to do with the person. My dear, there is nothing much you can do other than being very transparent and reassuring the person. Now, you also need to be mindful about the time when you need to put your feet down and set certain healthy boundaries. Because you need to ask yourself, how long will this go on? This is a frank conversation that needs to happen. Say, listen, I am with customers. This is the kind of business I do. So it's inevitable that I have to deal with men. It's inevitable I have to deal with women if you're a man. And so these are some of the things you need to explain to your spouse. Have that frank conversation. That is where effective communication comes into play. I know that sometimes it could be irritating. It could be, why do you need to distrust me all the time? But sometimes you also need to explain. You need to explain so that the person is reassured. But now when it gets into that unhealthy boundaries, then that is the time to have frank conversation. Because if you don't manage it properly, it can tip over into violence. This is where you now start seeing, if you followed the previous episodes I've talked about violence within the domestic setting. So this is at that point, it tips into violence, where the person gets aggressive, gets manipulative, and starts exhibiting all sorts. It can even lead to physical violence. So once that tendency comes up, it's something you need to address. It's not something you sweep under the carpet. You need to understand the root cause of his or her behavior and address it. And sometimes there are some that are really so bad. There are some partners that are really so bad. They will follow their wife to the office space and embarrass the wife's customers. There are some men that are like that. And there are some women that are the same thing as well. They will follow their husband. If they see their husband talking to any woman, the next thing is they go behind their husband and start fighting the woman. And they will just imagine that this is their husband's side chick. So listen, there has to be, it is something you need to have a grip on yourself. Your husband is a full-grown adult. Your wife is a full-grown adult. She or him, or he has the right to have other relationships outside you. It is not healthy that your husband has only you as a friend. He would have other women as friends, but there has to be a boundary. You also need to set the boundary, what is healthy and where it crosses. It's normal because we're all human beings. So you need to understand that, and that is what you need to explain. And then when it comes to customers, that is where you need to have that frank conversation. Otherwise, it can ruin. I've seen where it has ruined businesses, especially for women. Especially for women. So you need to know at the point where conversations need to be had and where actions need to be taken. It's left for you. You're wearing the shoes. You will know the point where it has gone beyond control, where you feel threatened, where you feel manipulated, or when violence gets into it. You know, at times we get blinded by this and say, oh, he's doing this because she loves me, or he's doing that because he loves me. There has to be a boundary. If love gets to the point where it is not healthy, you need to suffocate each other, it becomes problematic. Very problematic. I like what you say, Madora. Dora says understanding is key. So understanding is key. Communication is also very key. Communication is also very key. So these two are really very key. Ichidema says, good evening, your good topic. Adora says, understanding is key. Jideka says, Ella, if he calls to ask questions here and there, don't go and answer him here and there. Omaka, mpiawisi. Oh my goodness. Jideka. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, Jideka, that's a funny one. No, it depends on what the history has been, you know, because we don't have the full picture. It's difficult because I don't have the full picture. But I'm just talking, you know, from experiences and from some of the cases I've handled. So it depends on what the situation is. Sometimes it could be for different reasons. Maybe there has been issues in the marriage, or there's been issues while courting, and then he or she cannot get over it. So it happens both sides. Male do it, female do it. So it happens both sides. So we need to understand what the root cause is. Then if it stems from insecurity, my dear, if you try as much as you can to reassure him or reassure her, and it doesn't work, and it gets, and I say, I still want my head intact. My dear, that would be violence. Mpiawisi, that is breaking of head in my dialect. Mpiawisi means breaking of the head. That is violence, and it's a no-no. I tell you this, a man that has hit you once will hit you again. If a man has any reason to hit you, and he finds justification for hitting you, and say, oh, but baby, you know, because I love you. My dear, that is not love, that is violence. That is all shades of violence. And you know, sometimes they tell you, I love you, that's why I beat you. Are you an animal? Even animal, I don't even beat my dog. So it's not, as long as the person's even with children, how often do you even beat children these days? We find out that talking to them and having frank conversation works. So that's why we keep talking about effective communication and understanding relationship is very key. Theodora says, please, Prof, advise women to stop going to their partner's phone. Oh, this is huge. Let me tell you something. I used to be guilty of that. There was a time I would go take the phone, go through the phone, you make problems, but at the end of the day, what you ask yourself this as you mature. You know, maturity comes when it's not just about age, but a maturity comes with deep understanding, with very deep understanding. Now, look at it this way. Once you start going into your man's phone, the first thing it signals is there's distrust. So rather than going into his phone and scrolling, why don't you even just ask him the question you want to ask him? Or ask her the question you want to. And then if you feel that you've been given reason to distrust, you tackle it. But you see, this phone business, I've been there, it doesn't solve anything. It rather creates more complications. Because what happens is you can see innocent text messages and you misunderstand innocent text messages. Some of you will go as far as, this is to women now, especially. I know men do this, but we women are guilty of this. You go as far as copying the lady's number, and then you go and use another phone and start calling the woman. Please stop it. Stop it. It is not, it's all shades of wrong. You don't have any business with your husband's mistress, side chick, whatever, it is not your business. Who you have a problem with is your husband. And you
Oh yeah, it's a Friday night. It's Friday night hangout. Let's celebrate. A season of new beginnings. Let's rejoice. Thank God it's Friday. It's Friday night hangout. Let's celebrate. A season of new beginnings. Let's rejoice. Thank God it's Friday. Oh yeah, it's a Friday night. It's Friday night hangout. Let's celebrate. A season of new beginnings. Let's rejoice. Thank God it's Friday. It's Friday night hangout. Let's celebrate.
Hey. All right. So you see, this network and then this power, whatever you call it, is so bad. He didn't want me to tell you women what I'm saying, so I will still repeat it. So I'm saying that you as a woman, you have no business. You have no right, you have no business to go into your husband's phone, pick out a number, and start calling and abusing the woman or the girl or whatever. Please stop it. It is all shades of wrong. Adora says this phone issue has caused so many problems. Exactly. It is all shades of wrong. I don't just go to the phone. The phone gives me... Njideka says I don't just go to the phone. The phone gives me signal to come. Please tell the phone... Tell the phone not to give you any signal. Tell the phone not to give you any signal. It is all shades of wrong. You cannot be calling some other woman or some other young lady, and then some people go to the extent of they will go with their female friends. They will beat the girl or the woman up. They will tear her clothes. My dear, we have the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act. And if you are caught, you will go to prison. This is no sentiments. Except you're dealing with someone that doesn't know her rights. This is not a sentimental issue. It is violence. So don't even try it. If you have any issue, take it out with you. And when you're taking it out with your husband, don't be violent. Because if the man decides to take it up with you, you end up in jail. So we all need to become very matured about these things. So you have control over your own decision and how you react to the decision the next person takes. So please, this phone business, it has caused a lot of problems in marriages. It has caused a lot of problems in relationships. Please stop it. I used to do it before. I stopped it years back. It helps nobody. It helps nobody at all. I'm telling you the truth. It just creates more heartache, pain, and everything. So just trust the person until the person gives a reason to distrust, okay? Shanjot says, in a situation where your partner is so angry and boiling inside with silence, is it good to force him into having a discussion when you're knowing fully well you're the reason for his silence? My dear, it is not good to have conversation when one party is very angry. When your partner is very angry, give the person time to cool out. because the person can, in that anger, you might say something, the person just get provoked, and the person says things that will hurt you. You see, words, when you say words, you can't retrieve them, and then they keep hurting you that have listened to it. So if any partner is angry, just leave that space for that time. Allow the person to calm down. You see, this thing we do about forcing our partner to have conversation when they are angry, please, it doesn't work. Allow the person to cool down, and then you can now have frank conversation. The person may not even see it the way he or she saw it when the incident occurred, because the person had calmed down. So it's always very good to calm down before having conversation. Don't force your partner into having conversation when they are boiling in anger, and you're the reason. Like you said, allow the person to calm down. Then you have that frank conversations. And you say these words, I am sorry. It changes a lot of things. Some men don't know how to say I'm sorry. Some women don't know how to say I'm sorry. And it's creating a whole lot of problems in marriages and in relationships. Now, Chinelo says, a relationship that is no longer affecting me positively. How do I handle it or cut it off? Especially when the person is a long-time old friend. Now, this is a very good question. When a relationship is not affecting you positively, you need to think, you need to reflect, because you've come a long way with this person. And cutting off the relationship, it depends on what you mean by cutting off. Cutting off to the extent that you don't say hi, you're not friendly with the person, or cutting off with the person that you want to build boundaries and say, you know what, I don't want to go with the person beyond this level. So you need to define what it is exactly you want to do. And you need to define what it is exactly that you want to do with the person and why. It's not just, so if you say that the person is not affecting me positively, you need to be very specific to yourself. In what ways have the relationship changed? What has changed about the relationship? Is this something that you can redeem? Is this something that the person, because I see this all the time, sometimes people, we all change, as we grow, we interact with people, we change. We interact with different situations, we change. And then you get to the point where certain relationships are no longer relevant in your life, which is true. So if you get to the point where certain relationships are no longer relevant in your life, you need to find out, you need to be honest enough with yourself to say, why is this relationship no longer relevant in my life? And then you need to be nice. You really need to be nice to people. Even if that person is no longer relevant in your life, if the person hasn't done anything wrong to you, or hasn't, because when you say not affecting you positively, I don't know in what extent. Is it that the person is doing things that affect you negatively, or just that the person is not growing as fast as you're growing? They're different things. Because sometimes you outgrow certain relationships, and then it becomes a burden for you to pull that person along. So if your friends are not growing the way you're growing, it becomes problematic. But then you need to define how you relate with them. So it's okay to have different kinds of relationships. But now, if it is that the person is doing things that are negative to you or pulling you down, then you need to be very definitive. So sometimes you can have what I'll call confrontation, having very frank conversations with the person, but from a very nice way. So the person doesn't feel you just shut the person out and walked out of the person. So very nicely say, oh my dear, right now I'm doing this, I'm so busy now, but just know that I love you, I care for you, I will be checking in on you from time to time, but I don't want you to take it in this light. So have that conversations, because I've been in spaces where except people come close to you, they don't know how busy you are, they don't know, so they don't know how your time schedule runs, and they take it in a negative way. So not affecting you positively, you need to define. Is it that the person is not going as fast as you are, or whatever? So be very definitive about it, and please be nice. Whatever happens, be nice, okay? Because the person is an old friend. The person once had a say in your life, so just be nice to the person. I hope that answers your question. Isn't it? Says trust is key. Ozioma says words are so powerful, it can make or mar you. True. Ella says, I have this case, so please let's discuss it, Biko. My colleague told me after she got engaged, her fiancé confessed to her that he has a burden in his heart, that while they were dating, he slept with my colleague's elder sister in different occasions, and that the elder sister has been disturbing him, that he realized his mistake and she should forgive him. This happened before they got engaged. He confessed after the engagement. Me, I don't talk my mouth one bend. Please, ma, what do you think she can do? Oh my goodness. This is a very complicated relationship. Now, there are different sides to this. This is one aspect of it. Now, the man was already dating her, and then he went to sleep with her elder sister. That is all shades of wrong, first of all. Is all shades of wrong. How can you be dating somebody and then you went ahead to sleep with the person's elder sister while dating the person, and you slept with her once, twice? My dear, it's very problematic for me. It shows that the person has issues, and then he did not confess before getting engaged. He waited until after the engagement. Then he now started so he misrepresented himself to her. And now the sister is now disturbing him. Disturbing him for what? I don't understand what she's disturbing him for. But the relationship is already on a shaky foundation. It's really on a very shaky foundation. And to be honest, she's going to have trust issues with him. This is her sister. Anytime she sees him with her sister and he laughs anyhow, she will not have peace. She will feel that they've started what they had done before. So she needs to make up her mind what she wants. And the man needs to make up his mind at what he really wants. And it is not something they can run away from. There has to be conversations between him, the sister, and herself. And even, these conversations needs to happen. It's a very deep issue. This is a close relationship. So for me, it's all shades of wrong. Because you can't be dating somebody and dating the sister at the same time, and then you engage one person, and then after the engagement, you tell the person, and now you say the sister is disturbing you. We don't even know the true story of what happened. You may be surprised that when you hear from the sister, it may be that he has also promised the sister something else. So one needs to be very, very careful about this. I'm not comfortable with that relationship, but she's an adult. At the end of the day, she has the right to make her decision what she wants. And then, that's how life is. Like you said, you've talked your own. So you talk your own, you don't talk your own, your mouth won't bend. When you talk finish, now she go do what she want to. What I'm saying is that you say your own, and then the adult has to make the decision. I hope that answers your question. Chinelo says, thank you, ma. Njideka says, Chai, this one needs to be settled under the mango tree in my chamber. Madam Adenike says, on different occasions, problem. Meaning that he has slept with your sister on different occasions. Esne says, it's better she walks away from the relationship to avoid the same thing happening when they are married. She can forgive him, but it will be difficult for her to forget. So it's better for her to let go. So these are all, you see, General says, I will advise the call of the relationship. So these are all the views coming in. But she has to make her choice, what she wants. And at the end of the day, we all live with the choice, with the consequences of the choices we make in life. And Njeka says, ma'am, you see this case, it will have to be part 2, which is my sister is pregnant. Oh my goodness, this is so hot. No, she didn't say the sister is pregnant, and we don't pray for part 2. But she's an adult and she needs to make her decisions, as to what she wants. So, if you're just joining in, welcome to Friday Night Hangout with Joy Onyesoh. I'm so excited to have you. Today is our 17th edition, and we're discussing relationships. We've been having very real conversations today, talking about different shades of relationship. I'm so happy for everyone that has made this interesting and interactive. And while we're at it, we're going to take another giveaway. Yes, yes, yes. Are you ready? While you're getting ready for the giveaway, I also want to remind you of my book. This is the Power Woman book. I'm so excited, my book was also spotlighted during the Amplify and Empower Summit 2 days ago by Lisa Nichols. Lisa Nichols is a motivational speaker. She's an awesome woman. Now, have you gotten your copy of the Power Woman? If you haven't, I encourage you to go to www.joyonyesoh.com/powerwoman. Now, there are beautiful topics that you see, even for me, Sometimes I still pick up this book and I read the book and I get new reflections. So the book has different chapters and it talks about different things, understanding forgiveness, understanding and balancing your emotions, feeling stuck. And then the power woman, I take each word of, power woman, each of the alphabet, I explains what it means. POWER, and I explain what it means. And I give you strategies. I give you tools that will really help you to grow yourself. I don't joke with personal development, and I also ask you to invest in yourself. And one way you can do this is by getting the Power Woman book. Trust me, this is one book that you need to have in your library. And not just having the book, I need you to read the book. While we're at it, the September edition of the Power Woman magazine is out. Yay! So if you haven't subscribed, please go on to my website, www.joyonyesoh.com/September, and then you Power Woman September, and then you get the magazine. It's right here on the screen. Go to the website and you can subscribe to the magazine. Interesting issues. That's it. Thank you so much, Uche. www.joyonyesoh.com/magazine/September 2020. You can grab your copy now. Very interesting read. It talks about I'm not going to tell you the main title because I'm supposed to ask you a question on it. So it has very interesting reads for you. Read it and then you thank me later. Okay. Now, are you ready to drop your numbers? We're going to take the last 10 numbers. So I want to see your number and then Power Woman. Your number and then Power Woman. Let's go. DJ, give me music. Your number and power. The DJ is busy doing this. Your number and then Power Woman. I'm giving you a glimpse. Are you seeing what they're doing behind? Just look at them. This is supposed to be my DJ. Just see them. Have you seen my people? Eh? Have you seen them? They are struggling. They are struggling they are struggling to get it. Oh my goodness. Let's go. Power Woman. Woo! Hey. All right. Oh yeah. All right. Let's go. My team is picking up the numbers. And so just before we go, DJ, give us the music. Let me show you people that are digging it out. Hey, look at that. Just watch them. That's it. This is a Friday night backstage. You have a glimpse of the backstage. All right. That's the backstage. You have a glimpse of my backstage, yeah? This is Benin City. I love you so much. I really love you. I honor you. I celebrate you. Have a blessed, wonderful week. Woo! It's like, oh, all right. All right. Let's rejoice. Hey. Let's, I'm giving you some backstage Friday night. My backstage is so funny, yeah? I love you all. I really love you all. I hope you had some fun watching my team behind. It's Friday night. Hey. celebrating. And listen, keep holding on. Just keep holding on. Yes. I love you all. Woo! All right. Hey. Okay. DJ. Yes, if you're in Enugu and you want to get if you're in Enugu and you want to get a hard copy of the Power Woman book, you can simply call Uche. Let's have the number on the screen, please. So if you're in Enugu and you want to get the hard copy, beautiful. I just love my team. They're so efficient. And thank you so much, Uche. So if you're in Enugu and you need to get the Power Man hard copy, this is the number to call 08066983556. And then you can get the hard copy of the book. If you also are in Lagos and you're in Abuja, you can also have the hard copy of the book. You can do pick up. You can just pick it up. And we also deliver hard copies to anywhere in Nigeria. So if you want the hard copy and you're not in Abuja, you're not in Enugu, and you're not in Lagos, we can as well deliver to any part of Nigeria. So just call this number. If you don't want to go online, we've made the process easy online. But if you don't want to go online and you would prefer to do pick up or get us, so just call or text. Call or text 080-669-83556, and we'll, make sure you have the book. And I have a special thing for those that have bought the Power Woman book. I won't tell you what it is, but I love to do giveaways, yeah? So just keep watching, and I have an update for you. And if you've bought the hard copy, please, I need your picture. Just take a picture of yourself with the book and just take a picture of the book and send it to the number on the screen, 080-669-83556. Hard copy is 3,800 naira, and that doesn't include the delivery cost if you're not picking up. So if you're coming to pick it up at any of the locations, it is 3,800 naira. But if we have to send it to you, then we'll tell you the delivery price. It depends. Some places is 1,000, places 1,500, some places 2,000. So we'll let you know the cost of delivery. But if you're picking up in Enugu, Abuja, Lagos, it is 3,800. You can also get the soft copy online for 2,500 naira. You can get a soft copy online for 2,500 naira. Or you can also call or text the number we have on screen, and she'll make sure that you get your copy of your soft copy if you want to. So you can call 080-669-83556. Okay, I love you all, and with this, we've come to the end of our episode today. I want to appreciate my team, my fabulous team. I want to appreciate Uche Carlo, Sarah Ugu, Adezo Onyesoh, JBN Onyesoh, and for today, I have backup here, James Yasi. Thank you so much for being a wonderful DJ. So thank you all. I love you so much. Let's have music as we wrap up. So see you next week, Friday. All right. Love you all. I love you. Love you, love you, love you, love you.